Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Frank here. Focus today is to cut out some parts on the plasma table and start to look at modifying the Dozer's blade mount. Last episode we started working on this blade mount. This was a 3-point hitch blade from my Kubota. Cut it. My purpose here is to shorten the distance from this lift arm here, which the tractor will attach to the 2 pins, one on each end. And there'll be another attachment point, actually be 2 more attachment points, but the point is I want to get this lift arm closer to the blade. I can't get too close because I need to angle the blade and have clearance over here so the blade doesn't hit this pin, but I need to get it closer. And the other concern I have is that this blade is supported right now only at the top. There's a tube or pipe almost 3 inches in diameter that comes up through this orange bracket at the top. I want to add a support at the bottom and then connect it to the top so that the blade is supported up here, and then have this attachment, this arm, attach about the midpoint of the blade. So the way I have it now, just clamped together, where I'd cut this longer arm here and then overlapped them and just have them clamped together. Just looking at the arrangement here. So I've got some parts to cut out on the plasma table, so we'll go ahead and do that now, and then we'll go back to the blade and see what it looks like. So I'm building a bracket to go around the base of this column, and then I've got another bracket that I'm going to weld to the top like this, and then I'll connect these two and then have the bracket for with the pins come off of these two plates. So I'm going to cut this back to that point. I'm going to weld this around this column. It's the two pieces here. And then we'll weld this to the top. And so we're building a better mount for the blade. And of course I've unbolted that from the blade. You saw me just do that. Okay. Let's go ahead and cut this off first. And I think the best way to do that is probably with the zip blade. Alright, so I need another piece which is 5 inches by 15 inches. So I'll go cut that out. So I had a piece of scrap which is a little bit wider and longer than what I need, so I'm just going to use the straight cut function, cut this to 5 inches wide, and then I'll cut about an inch off the end. Didn't quite have to cut it. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is cut a couple pieces of rectangular tubing to run down inside here and across here. And we'll weld all that together, and that'll give the reinforcement for this. This is 1/4 inch plate, but we're going to be pushing against it, so it potentially could bend, but if we reinforce it with some rectangular tubing, it should be fine. All right, let me take some more measurements. I'm going to cut a vertical piece here first. At 10.5 inches. I think I have the blade mount largely. I mean, this bracket is just tacked to this plate, and I have to add some reinforcement to it as well. But I think this is a good position. Let's put it down on the floor and check it out. Brew. Come here, Brew. Hey, Brew. Come here, Brew. Come here. Come here. Here. It's okay. Boy. I think that's a much better arrangement. And I will need to, obviously this is not welded. I'll weld all the way around here. Who do I have here? I have Butchie. What you doing, Butchie boy? You being a good boy? Yeah. I'm sure you are. And of course, here comes Brutus. Brutus is such a good boy too. You my good puppies. Yeah. Okay, there's Butchie. Come to see my work. Yeah. That's my Brew. Yeah. Good boy. My good boy. And I hear Butchie barking. All right, so that's going to be fine. I think it's going to work well. Now, there's two other things. One, obviously, besides the lower support arms, which come to these two pins here and over there, there'll be the top link. Be a bracket mounted on here that will connect to up here, and that'll be a hydraulic cylinder. That'll be a hydraulic top link. That would pivot the whole blade up when you pull that in. If you don't touch these, that'll just pick the blade up. It'll pivot on these. And if you pick this up, then if that's held constant, then that will pitch the blade down, so it'll dig in more, and you can adjust it, to dig in more or less. If you pick one side of this up, then it'll pivot, and the other side will go down. And then there'll be a fourth cylinder will angle the blade, and it will be supported either one end on here and one end on the blade, or maybe one end on here and one end on this bracket. So as it expands, pushes out, it'll tilt the blade away, contracts, it'll pull the blade in. So we'll have to sort out the geometry of that and get a cylinder that's the right size. Okay. Well, been out in the shop all day today, pretty much, from about 9 o'clock till it's almost 4. I took a lunch break, but that's a full day. All right, I'm going to quit for today. We'll come back tomorrow and maybe we can mount the thrust brackets and cut out a piece of wood for the couple pieces of wood to look like lower lift arms, just to see about the length of the best length for them. We'll keep working on this. All right, we'll be back. Got the blade support back here, up here on the bench, and gonna finish welding. There's a couple more welds I need to do on the insides and then on either side of this lift bracket, lift support. All right, so I'm going to do that, and then we're going to let it cool, and while it's cooling, we're going to look at installing these are the plates to support the valves, the operating valves. So we'll look at them. All right. All right, we'll let this cool off a little bit. And let's look at the valve support plates. All right, so this plate will fasten right here. And I have an identical plate for the other side. And then the valve will fasten like this. And then the valve will bolt to these 4 holes. I think the valve only has 3, but all right, so let's just go over to the bench and clean this up. Let's maybe get some bolts and just check it for fit. Let's do that first. All right, so let's check out our hole spacing here. Let's see, like this. All right, that's fine. All right. Let's go clean these up and put a coat of primer on them. All right, so that takes all the sharp edges off. So degreasing them, making sure there shouldn't be any grease on them because they came off the plasma table, but certainly have some dirt. Good bit of dirt. Okay. But the way these are going to work is these 2 bolts bolt to the frame, and then there are 4 holes here, and they match up with these 3. I just did 4, so they're both the same because on different sides of the tractor, different holes will be used, and they'll just go like that. That'll hold the valve. Okay. Got the area marked out here for where the thrust bracket's going to go. So I'm going to just clean the paint off around that area. All right, let's go around the other side, do the other one. I'm just tacking it in place for the time being. I won't weld it up until we know that it's in the right spot. I need to make the lower lift arms and fit them to the blade and make sure everything works before we finally weld that. All right, we'll go around the other side, do the other one. All right, let's get a coat of primer on this. All right, so we'll let this dry, and then it will eventually get painted the same color, yellow, as the rest of the tractor. Okay, blade mount done. What we've got to do is bolt the blade back to it. Once it's painted, we'll paint it. We're going to paint the blade too. Trying to get this mask off, respirator off. Paint the blade too. It'll be Caterpillar yellow, just like the rest of the equipment. Okay, so we'll have to let the primer dry on the valve support plates. So we'll come back after they have a chance to dry and put them on, bolt the first valve on, see how it fits. Once we get the blade set up here, set up and painted, we can take measurements for the various hydraulic cylinders that we need 4. And then it'll be time to start taking measurements for the hydraulic hoses and get ready to start hooking those up. So, all right, we'll come back. All right, guys, that's wrap for this episode. Got a lot accomplished with the blade mount rebuilt, the thrust brackets on temporarily. I took some measurements for the hydraulic cylinders that I need, and I just finished ordering those. So those will come this week or early next week, and we can start looking at how to mount the hydraulic cylinders. Got the valve support plates painted. So I decided to go ahead and paint these and mount them, you know, after they dry. So we'll put them on next episode. I got the second valve from Surplus Center. They sent me, I ordered another one, and it looks like it's working. They claim that the one I sent back to them worked fine. I don't believe it. So it was very clearly faulty. But anyway, they gave me my money back, less shipping, and I bought another one. And it looks like it's fine. So we'll come back next week working on those things and continue making some progress. Be a couple more episodes before we get all the hydraulics done. So thanks for watching. Leave a comment, subscribe, share with your friends. We'll see you guys next time.